After more than 50 years, mankind has returned to the moon. Yes, we're watching a crucial moment right now, which can mean that humans will become a successful interplanetary species. The moon is our closest space neighbor. For thousands of years, it has shaped the human imagination, processes on the ground, and became the first target of a human expedition off our planet. Whether you see the moon landing as one of the greatest technological triumphs, or do you doubt it right now, we're watching a moment that can rewrite the history of the Artemis mission. 2 is the first manned flight to the month from the year 1970 to system bodister return. It is a test of system technology, and the ability to get a man again further than just on the ordinary track. Why are we going back after more than half a century? And this mission will decide the future. Humanity in space. The Artemis mission is an ambitious program of the US agency, NASA, whose mission is to bring a man back to the moon and lay the foundations for future exploration of deeper space. When people last, they were on the lunar surface as part of the Apollo program. It seemed that the next step would follow what not to see, but it took more than 50 years before we got very close to it. In contrast to the original program, largely a one-off race, Artemis has longer-term ambition, not go only 0. Return to the moon, but about building infrastructure, allowing for regular research missions, and in the future, a permanent presence outside the first step. She was in year 2020. TWO Artemis Missions 1 was an unmanned flight during which the ship Orion orbited the moon. Then he returned to Earth to test thermal protection on return, atmospheric navigation systems, the Space Launch System. The mission was successful and confirmed that the basic technology works. Artemis 2 on this test directly follows, but with one major difference this time. There are people on board I have successfully launched from the Kennedy Space Center on April 2nd, from Treasure to European time, despite minor technical difficulties. Before the start, the whole departure went smoothly, and the rocket set off with a few minutes. Astronauts delayed within 10. Daily missions will not land on the moon, but they fly around him and come back. There are for astronauts on the ground: Commander Reed Wiseman, pilot; Victor Glover, specialist; Mies Christina Koch; Jeremy Hansen of the Canadian Space Agency. Each of them has experience from previous missions, but Artemis 2 is a completely different category, flying for the first time outside low orbit, where people haven't looked since Apollo. The whole mission started on the ramp with the most powerful machines when humanity built a space launch. The system reaches height almost 100 meters and generates at startup 39 meganewt. To G ranks among the strongest carriers in history, comparable to Saturn V that launched the Apollo program astronauts to the moon at the top. The rockets are located the Orion spacecraft. It is designed for deep space missions, an environment where protection no longer works. Its magnetic field means higher radiation, greater temperature fluctuations, and generally much more difficult living conditions. Orion crew. Therefore, it combines a living space for astronauts, with advanced systems, management, navigation, and protection essential role. I play European Service Module, developed by the European Space Agency. 10 ensures energy supply using solar panels, contains water and oxygen reserves, and carries the main engine and other maneuvering systems. On board the Orion, check technology is also part of the system. Hera is 6 chips for measuring radiation, supplied by the prog company Advocam. The aforementioned device, Hera, monitors the composition of the cosmic. Radiation can have a major impact to the health of the entire crew and to the function of sensitive electronics. The device will help check, for example, the radial properties shielding aboard a spaceship. The mission itself combines testing systems with maximum safety after launch. Orion first performs a series of maneuvers nearby countries during which key operations are verified. Then comes the decisive moment, the ignition that directs the ship. The Orion ship will fly to the moon after the so-called free return trajectory when the moon circles, and it will continue into space before her gravity leads back to set the ground. In case of technical problems, there is no need to complex corrections, physics itself. This will help ensure the return of the crew. An interesting moment occurs when Orion gets behind the dark side of the moon. At 10 moments, there will be a planned communication outage. When about 40, 5 minutes breaks the connection with the ground. This is in the way. The moon itself that will block the radio signal. This is an expected part of the mission, known from the Apollo dot program in several days of flight. The astronauts get thousands of miles per month, and they will be at a distance where no man has ever seen. The mission will also test new technologies. For example, laser communication, which transfers data much faster than traditional radio waves, with an interesting detail. The Artemis 2 mission is also a significant advance. In the daily comfort of astronauts, while the crew of the Apollo program use highly improvised hygiene solutions astronauts. They will be on board the Orion ship, have a full-fledged toilet included. There is also a small exercise designed for muscle training in the state. Without weight, the Artemis program itself. He has the ambition to return Americans to the lunar surface and gradually prepare the mission to Mars. The original plan that mission Artemis 3 will bring the astronauts directly to the surface. Months of reality. But it's more complicated than that. NASA had a program rework due to technical challenges, and the development of lunar spacesuits of the new generation Artemis 3 will focus primarily on to test key technologies on a common track, including the connection of the Orion ship. This landing modules the actual landing of astronauts on the moon. It is currently planned up to mission for Artemis around the year 2028 Artemis. For should be a major milestone, not only because of the returning people to the lunar surface, also because of the beginning of the construction of infrastructure. For months, this mission will include transportation, the first modules of the Gateway Station to work, as the interchange point between the Earth and the moon surface of the station. Allows more flexible mission planning for longer stays, astronauts in lunar space, while providing key experience for future flights to Mars. Great attention is also focused on the area. The south pole of the moon is there according to the current. Data finds water LED hidden in permanently shaded. This discovery fundamentally changes the view of the moon. Water is a key source, not just for survival, but for oxygen production and fuel. That means future missions might not be fully dependent on the supply from the country part. Resources could be obtained directly. The moon changes from a mere goal on the basics needed for further space travel. JDE also zero ideal environment technologies that will, once needed for a trip to Mars, such as energy production systems, water, recycling, protection from radiation, or long stay in Artemis isolation. This is the beginning of a much bigger story. It's not just one flight to verify the entire concept on which the future of pilots. Mission humane. That humanity will actually see a permanent presence? Or is it just another ambitious plan which comes across reality? Let us know in the comments. If you liked the video, don't forget to click like and follow this channel for more information.